Good evening. Prime Minister Barry Ryan announced today that he intends to put a price on carbon pollution. Following a bitter dispute between Tasland's two major political parties over how best to tackle climate change, the Prime Minister vowed that he would not step away from the public's demand that action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions needed to happen immediately.
Tasland is already feeling the effects of climate change. The recent flooding of Silver Beach showed this clearly. Rising sea levels and the effects of Cyclone Paul caused billions of dollars of damage. While the opposition is contemplating its navel, this government has been designing a carbon pricing mechanism. We will lower our emissions in the most cost-effective way while ensuring a future with renewable energy for all. The time is right and the time is now. Tasland doesn't need to lead the world in climate change, but we can't afford to be left behind. Commencing on the 1st of July, Tasland's cap-and-trade scheme will cover all 6 Kyoto gases. It includes fugitive emissions, stationary energy, transport, waste, and industrial gases. The country's 9 biggest polluters will be liable under this scheme. The Tasland ETS sets an ambitious target for reducing our greenhouse gas emissions, 40% of 2000 levels in 3 years. There will be minimal transitional protection for industry. We forecast strong growth in the economy under the ETS, jobs growth, growth in family incomes, and we can do all of that while cutting carbon pollution. This is a great day in the history of Tasland.
While the Prime Minister was making his announcement, the Leader of the Opposition, Catherine Gray, was cutting the ribbon on energy company Max Power's new coal-fired power plant in the Eastern Airlands. She had this to say about the proposed cap-and-trade emissions trading scheme.
This is a government which intends to risk jobs and revenue in our energy industry to make a rough situation already tougher for struggling families and to make things worse for millions of households around Tasland. And for what? Another big problem with any Taslandian emissions scheme is that it would not make any material difference to atmospheric carbon concentration unless the big international polluters had similar schemes. I mean, look at Queensland, for goodness sake. Even if global warming is as bad as the doomsdayers say, it's better to respond correctly than to respond immediately. Man-made CO2 emissions have been happening for centuries, and I dare say the planet could cope if we respond intelligently in, for example, 2013, rather than foolishly now in 2011. If you want to put a price on carbon, why not just do it with a simple tax? Why not ask motorists to pay more? Why not ask electricity consumers to pay more? And then at the end of the year, you could go to the taxation department and get a rebate on the carbon tax that you paid.
And you thought she was against a great big new tax. In other news to come, world peanut prices fall to record lows. Scientists report that entropy is not what it used to be. And in Japan, officials reveal a radioactive cat, apparently with 18 half-lives.
And we'll be right back.